Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. Welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today. Mom thinks her kid should get the same discount she does. After that, it's a costume. No, really. After that, entitled neighbor doesn't want palm tree to be cut down. After that, free trials. And then we'll be wrapping up with, don't argue with people you're paying to eat. If you cannot stand entitled people, please let me know by smashing that like button. And if you're new, please subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. Mom thinks her kid should get the same discount she does. So, I'm now the owner of a landscaping business that my father started. He retired last year. He still checks in and helps a lot on the business end of things until I get my footing. We work in a city in South Florida, and about 95% of our customers are above the age of 60. My dad has 3 clients that we charge at a very low rate because they've used him since the start of the business. 2 out of the 3 are great. They understand that they're being charged a low rate and love us for it. But we have one lady that is very hard to deal with. My dad refuses to let go of her contract without a legitimate reason. That's just who my dad is. She has 2 daughters, and they both own homes with their husbands. We get a call from this lady asking us to take on her daughters. I told her if she would like to give them our number, I can talk with them and get it figured out. I was doing this as a favor to my dad, really, because adding the 2 extra properties right now stretches us pretty thin, and I'll probably have to help out as well as my cousin, who basically manages the crews. Anyone will tell you expanding with a landscaping company is not as easy as it seems, and it's bordering along the impossible without proper planning. So one of the 2 daughters calls in and gives me their details, and I told them I could come out and meet them and give them an estimate as soon as possible. That was met with a few seconds of silence and followed by, daughter. My mom had told me about the rate she paid, and we were under the assumption that we'd be paying those same rates. Me. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that, ma'am. We give her a special discount for being with us for so long. Daughter. She is my mom, and I'm sure she won't be happy to hear about this. Me. Okie dokie. Her. Click. So I don't think anything of it. Tell my pops what happened. We had a laugh about it and how entitled the people where we live are. Later that night, I get the call from the crazy lady. Me. Hello? Her. Let me explain something to you. We have a way of doing things in this town, and you just broke rule 1. The customer is always right. You told me you would take on my daughters, and I expect you to do just that. Me. I told your daughters I could take them on, but not at the same rate. I never said I would be charging the same rate. Her. Yes, you absolutely did, and I expect you to hold to your word like your father would. He would be so disappointed in you right now. I'm guessing she didn't know my dad still took part in the business because he avoids her at all costs. Me. Okay, ma'am, I'll see what I can do. Her. You better. This is just not how you do business. Me. Okay. I went to my dad and told him about it. He told me to end her contract. I told him I had a better idea, and he agreed to it. Now, I say contract, but it's just a monthly billing for her contract, due to it being so low. So I call her back the next day. Her. Hello? Me. Hello there, miss. It's me, your landscaping company, calling you back. Her. I hope you have some good news, because I still feel slighted. Me. Oh, I have some news. We will be giving your daughters the same rate as you insisted. Her. Perfect. When can I tell them you'll be over? We'll get to that, but we have to discuss your new rates first. What new rates? I didn't agree to new rates. Oh, well, you're requested to pay the same amount as your daughters, so we've taken away the special discount we've given you, and your new rate will be $800 a month. That will start in 2 months from now. What came after was incoherent screaming and her hanging up. She called back the next day but refused to talk with me. She tried talking with my cousin, but he referred her to me. She tried getting a hold of my dad, but he shut off his work cell long ago. She eventually calls back and tried to negotiate with me, but I told her it was all at her request and too late to go back on it. She dropped us the next month. She had been a thorn in my dad's side for so long. He was relieved when I told him about the call. He didn't want me to have the extra stress of dealing with her anyway. It's very easy and satisfying to tell someone to buzz off, but my dad lived by a set of business rules that his dad taught him. My mom saw Dexter and now refers to him as Dexter because of his fanatical obsession with these rules. Rule number 1 is very simple but huge. Don't ever give someone a reason to hate you. It'll serve to bolster your pride and can only hurt you in the future. And 2, don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone, no matter what, no matter where, or who you are with, or where you're going, or where you've been, ever, for any reason whatsoever. Next we've got, it's a costume. No, really. My office had a Halloween-themed sales event today where everyone had to come in costume. Since I don't usually otherwise dress up for Halloween and didn't want to burn money on a single-use costume, I asked a mechanic friend if I could borrow one of his jumpsuits from work, and he obliged. This was good, both because it was a free costume and because it had a comedic element. Anyone who works with me knows I have a medical condition that disqualifies me from driving, so have never owned a car, let alone worried about car maintenance. So I was at the bus stop on the side of the road in my costume when a frantic lady runs up to me. "Sir, excuse me. My car broke down and I have no idea what's wrong. I'm headed into work and really can't wait for a tow. Would you mind taking a look?" Me. "Oh, sorry. This is actually just a costume." Her. "Do I look like I was born yesterday?" "No, really. I'm headed to a Halloween thing." "At 8 a.m. on a Monday? Look, if you don't want to help me, be man enough to say so. Don't go making up a wild story." Me. "I can't help you. I don't even drive. I've never owned a car. I'd help if I could." "A mechanic who's never owned a car? Why are you jerking me around?" Me. "I am not a mechanic. This is a costume." "I've got a baby in there. You're going to let my baby sit in a hot car because you're too lazy to take a quick peek under my hood?" Me. "Thought you said you were going to work." "That's besides the point. Are you going to help me or no?" "I can't. I'm not a mechanic." "I'm not stupid." "I didn't say you were stupid. I said I'm not a mechanic." "I'm going to call your boss and tell him all about this. You better believe I'm posting it on Yelp too." Me. "You don't think it's the least bit strange that a car mechanic is here at a bus stop?" "Turn around. Let me see where you work." My buddy's company logo is on the back of the suit and his name is embroidered on the front. Me. "Whatever. Fine." Frantic lady dials and puts it on speaker. "You have 2 seconds to change your mind. You're about to get fired." "Doubt that. You don't know where I work." She sputters inaudibly. My buddy's boss picks up the phone. "Generic auto shop. How can I help?" "Yes. My car is broken down on the side of the road, and your mechanic won't help me get it started." Ma'am, are you sure you've got the right shop name? We don't offer roadside assistance." "Well, I didn't call for roadside assistance, but he's right here and refuses to help me." Boss. "Ma'am, mechanics don't have to do anything outside of the shop or off the clock. You want a roadside assistance recommendation? Or..." "You don't understand. He offered to take a look and took $20 from me, and now isn't doing anything. He's just standing, refusing to help me." First of all, bold-faced lie. I've rarely seen an adult lie so shamelessly and out of nowhere. Second, if I had just ripped her off for $20, why would I still be there? It wasn't even a well-conceived lie. Buddy's boss. "Oh, well, we can't have that. You're sure it was one of my guys? Did you catch his name tag?" "It says Mike." Boss calling to someone in the back. "Hey, Did Mike leave? My buddy, Mike. Nah, boss. What's up? Listen, I don't know who this is, but don't you be prank calling this line again. Buddy's boss hangs up, and I just smile dumbly at Frantic Lady. Me. Anything else I can help you with? Frantic Lady. You're all just jerks. Thank God I went to college and will never be stuck in a job like this. And have morals, and wouldn't leave a lady stranded on the side of the road and play such a mean trick. And she was still going as I got on the bus. I called the shop to explain once I got on the bus, and we all had a good laugh, and my friend said I should post on here. So here I am. I don't usually use Reddit, so sorry for anything out of place or incorrect. Next we've got Entitled Neighbor Doesn't Want Palm Tree to Be Cut Down. Our family bought a house which was initially sharing yards with the house on our right. After some time, our family decided to build a wall between both properties, respecting plot boundaries and whatnot. Making the decision between building a wall or a fence was an easy decision. Our neighbor, entitled neighbor in this case, would snoop around and literally sit outside her house and just watch ours. See who came out, came in, visited, everything. That wasn't it either. Not only would she spy on who was going inside or outside the house, she would be a pain in the butt when it came to parking as well. When friends came over, she obviously would see them arrive and watch them enter my house. Creepy. After my friends came in, hanged out, and were planning to leave, they would encounter a little note on their windshield. Next time you come over, please do not park here. This is a private parking area. Thank you. Yes, they were parked in front of her house, but they parked correctly without blocking any entrances. Every time from that point on, they made sure they parked in front of their house, even though there was space in front of mine. Now to the palm tree part. When buying our house, the yard was shared, but in our half of the yard, there was this huge palm tree. We didn't mind it at first, since it made it easier for family and friends to locate our home. Just look for the palm tree. But after deciding to build a wall to avoid snooping from our entitled neighbor, we also decided to build a small apartment next to our home so that my parents can rent it and get some extra cash. After a couple of months of planning, we decided to build it in the corner of the plot, where the palm tree was. We made arrangements and called someone who would help us cut it down. The day came. This was a big deal, since the palm tree was very tall. About 5 to 6 workers arrived to our house and began talking to my dad about how things were going down. Note, the wall was mid-construction, just above eye level for me, and 1 or 2 feet above our entitled neighbor's height. After the workers came and parked in front of my house, entitled neighbor could still see who was parking. While we were talking about how we were going to cut the palm tree down, I see entitled neighbor with her hands above the wall and has her head above the wall now. I look at her and freaked out, say, me. Entitled neighbor, hello, did you lose something? Her. What are those people doing with saws? Me. Her. Wait, you are not planning to cut the palm tree, are you? The workers and my dad are now aware of her. Me. Thought she was impressed or amazed, not angry. Actually, yeah, we are planning to build an apartment here. And why? We are going to rent it. And maybe before I could finish, she left and went inside. I thought this weird interaction was over. I wish it was. She returns and goes to the front of the house, fence door open, with her mother. Looks like she's in her 80s or 90s, in a wheelchair. Dad. Hi, what are you doing? Careful, there's saws and axes all over the place. Entitled neighbor. You can't cut that palm tree. That palm tree my mother grew by herself, and it reminds me of her. At least wait until she passes away. Yes, she's referring to her mom, not the palm tree. Dad. Sorry, but we are going to build an apartment, and it's on the way, so we will cut it down. If you wanted, we could maybe move it instead of cutting it and put it on your side of the yard. That would be great. You can put it over here. Gestures to a location in her yard. I'll let you talk with nice worker then, so you can arrange the movement. I'm not paying for it. It's on your property. Okay then, since it's on my property, and I won't pay the extra fee of moving it. I'm going to cut it down.
How dare you do this, you piece of…
Me. I think it's best for you to leave, entitled neighbor, while I stand in the middle of them. She leaves and starts yelling from her side of the wall, yelling she'll call the police. I wish I could have a recording of the yell she emitted when they finally cut the palm tree down. Next we've got free trials. I work at the customer service desk at a warehouse store where a membership is required to shop. Everyone who opens a membership has to come to the desk, if only to pick up their store cards when they open the account online. If not, we process the new account in store. Every so often, corporate sends out offers for a free 3-month trial membership. These are part of a mass mailing list. I've worked there for 2 years and I get them occasionally. And the main goal is to get new customers in the door. Printed on every one of these mailers is new members only. Existing customers cannot open a trial, but the flyer also includes a promo code for a discounted renewal for existing customers, over half off. Our cast: we've got me, we've got Angry Guy, and we've got the manager on duty, not in my department. The story. Last Saturday, I was working at the desk when an older gentleman came in. He threw the flyer down and asked me to open a trial. Angry Guy:
Hi, I'd like to use this free 3-month offer.
Me: Sure. Have you ever been a member with us before?
No.
Okay, I just need an ID and I can start processing the account right away. When people open memberships, their driver's license number is entered along with name, address, etc. Because of this, corporate asks that we check new members against the database to make sure they are not taking advantage of promotional offers like this. I enter his license number and an account shows up. No surprise there. People try to pull this all the time. Me: Unfortunately, there's already an account in your name. I won't be able to process the trial because that offer is only good for new customers. Most people realize they've been caught in a lie, and I'll then offer to renew their old account for a discount. It's about half and half whether people do that or say never mind. Angry Guy was neither.
Well then, why did I get this flyer? If I get this in the mail, I expect it to be honored.
Me: I do apologize, but I don't have a way to put this through without my computer blocking it. Not technically true, but I can get in trouble for overriding it. Also, when corporate secret shops the store, they check to make sure we aren't opening new accounts for existing customers.
Well then, I need to speak to the store manager, because until you get your act together and take me off the mailing list, I expect this to be honored.
Me: Sure, just a moment. I get on the radio and page the manager on duty to the front desk. Meanwhile, my coworker, who is with her own customer, looks over at me and, out of view of the customer, mouths, "What the heck?" While we wait for the manager, Angry Guy starts ranting to me about how he's never been a paid member and will never become one, which suggests he will continue to scream at employees until he gets his way. The manager on duty arrives about a minute later. He was on the opposite end of the store. Unfortunately for me, he's brand new to the store and isn't in my department. He's head of merchandising. My direct manager, who wouldn't have taken any of this, had left sick for the day. Manager on duty: What did you need? Angry Guy goes on a rant, pretty much repeating everything he just said to me, but emphasizing that I won't allow him to open another trial. Manager on duty, not being familiar with our policies, tells me that it's fine to bypass it for the day, and Angry Guy's attitude changes like a light switch. He was so nice to me for the rest of the transaction that it was almost disturbing. For what it's worth, manager on duty did come back about 10 minutes later and apologized for making me put it through. I guess he realized how it made me look, and it hopefully won't happen again. Angry Guy had left with his new card, but I wasn't done investigating. Searching by driver's license only turned up one account, but looking up his name revealed that he had opened 5 free trials over the last 3 years and at multiple locations. My guess is he screams enough until someone snaps and just does it for him. But thankfully, I left a very long note for the customer service manager along with screenshots of every membership number he's ever had. His driver's license and name have been flagged in our database. Hopefully, the poor employee he screams at next time will see that and refuse the sale. Next we've got, don't argue with people you're paying to eat. So this happened last year on my third shift at my new job. I work at a pizza chain, Domino's, that's located just outside of a supermarket. I migrated to Australia about 6 years ago and had become an Australian citizen before I got the job. Mind you, I had a slight American accent, but I can easily switch to my Malaysian accent pretty quickly. We've got me as myself, we've got entitled Karen, and we've got my brother, the manager. My manager had sent me out of the store to go pick up some stuff at the local shop as we were running out of a few certain toppings. I sped walked down every aisle to search for the items, checking my phone because it was nearing till the end of my shift, whilst also glancing at cash out area. I finally found the items I'd been searching for when a wild Karen appeared. She started ranting at me about some stuff in another aisle. Note, my uniform is full black dress pants, a black belt, black leather shoes, a hairnet, a black hat with a Domino's logo, and infamous black polo top with Domino's written on the back. It was clear to any sane customer that I was a Domino's worker, while as the workers at the local shop wore white blouse button-ups, black dress pants, hair tied back, and a badge showing that they worked at that local shop. To make it even more of a difference, I was still wearing the apron from Domino's. The hat I had to wear also had the logo on it. I remember the conversation going like this. Also note that this was during my first week at the job. Karen, what are you doing on your phone? Me. I switched to my Malaysian accent. Sorry, what? So unprofessional. I have been trying to get your attention for the past 5 minutes. Me. I don't work here. Don't give me that BS. I want these following items. Make it quick. She pushed her shopping list into my already full hands of large packets of oregano and chicken salt. Me. Ma'am, I don't work here. I work at— Stop making the dumb excuses right now. Do your dang job. At this point, I checked my phone and was well over overtime. While the wild Karen was busy ranting, I ran to the cash out and paid for the items. Then, as quick as my tired legs could, I ran back to the store I worked for. Gave the change and receipt to my manager, who's also my brother. Told him the whole situation on why I was taking 30 minutes to buy oregano and chicken salt. He said I can clock out now and take some spare garlic bread home. While I was in the midst of taking off my apron, the door opened. Mind you, our door didn't have a bell on top, but it did slam shut pretty loudly. Standing at the front was the entitled Karen from the shops. She looked fuming red. My brother handed me a couple of pizzas that were to be picked up. I yelled the name, no reply, so I placed it back on the hot shelf. I turned to entitled Karen and put on my most fake customer service smile and voice and spoke. Hello, welcome to Domino's. How can I help you today? In an American accent. Karen. You? Me. Yes, how can I help you today? What are you doing behind there? You're supposed to be at the local shop, working there instead. Then appears my brother, speaking in his fake customer service American accent. My brother. Hello, ma'am. May I ask, why are you yelling at my fellow employee here? She, give me my pizza. My brother. May I get the name then? A pepperoni pizza, now. Me. Have you ordered your pizza? Karen. What do you think I'm doing right now? Ordering, you idiot. My brother. Ma'am, I must ask you to lower your voice and not to speak to our employees like that, please. I went on to make the order, but my brother had other plans. He told me to clock out and would pay for the overtime, even though it was a Sunday and we'd do 10% surcharges on Sundays. He came home later that night and told me that he had the security to physically remove her from the property. And now I haven't seen that Karen at all. And now, whenever I have a crappy day at work and someone asks, how was work? I reply, oh sure, I enjoy feeding and making food for entitled, ungrateful Karens and receiving shouts from drunkards for 9 hours a week. It was great. I really do enjoy working there though. And shoutouts to our Regenerals of the day: Keaton, Boss of Bosses, Miss Octoberstorm, and Mikasa. Become tomorrow's Regenerals by leaving as many Rees as you can in the comments below.